I think an automobile is two things. It's engineering and it's art. First thing you do is you're attracted to it by its aesthetics. You come into the showroom, let's say, you sit down in it, you touch it, you feel it, until you turn that key, it's all art. You've been attracted to it by its aesthetics, at which point you turn the key and now you start the engineering. I think this was driven more by an artistic thing, but also a sense of the need to be functional.
Before the Meyers Manx in the mid-60s, dune buggies were just frames and engines. Good fun, but not terribly good looking. Bruce Meyers was an artist and a fiberglass fabricator, and felt it deserved better than a bare chassis with a seat on it. When he put his skills to the task of building a car that captured the easygoing surf culture of California in the 1960s, he ended up with something much bigger than he ever imagined.
I was 35 or 40 years old at the time, I think, when I designed this thing. It reflects the beach boy in me, which doesn't much care about tomorrow's profit. Tomorrow is not as important as tomorrow's surf. I grew up in the time of the first dry lakes. I was surrounded by my friends who were all hot rodding people, and I had a whole string of Fords. But when I popped up with this, such a divergence from the street rods that I grew up with, that it was a bit of a surprise.
In 1964, Bruce finished the first ever Meyers Manx, a fiberglass monocoque tub that attached to a VW Bug suspension and running gear. The first 12 Manxes built used this design, and Bruce still owns the very first one, which he calls Old Red. Later, the Manx was redesigned to use a shortened VW belly pan, and things started to take off, with Meyers Manxes in movies, magazines, and on racetracks.
It had its day in the sun. It was a glorious one. It certainly exemplifies the youth culture in California. The idea of the car is, it's a fun car first. It happens to be other kinds of cars as well.
The same things that made the Manx fun on the sand made it a capable race car as well, and Bruce made many off-road record runs in the Baja Desert, well before there were any official races being run there. The Manx was also a popular slalom car, beating Corvettes and even Cobras on the track.
For a few years, we won everything in slalom racing because the cars have light little numbers with lots of power, and they put their power on the ground quickly because of the rear engine layout. So the car has just a sort of a natural ability to be a good race car. At the slalom races, the other drivers, they were used to these cars winning all the time, and they said, let me drive it. So they drove it. And these other drivers always knocked down the cones on the inside of the curve, meaning that they expected the car to drift, but it never drifted. It just went around the corner. I did the very same thing a lot of people do. It was an aesthetic thing. I thought that the twin pipes, one pipe on either side, they're called trumpets, were cute because it was easy to get the oil, and for accessibility, they're good, but they kill power. On the trips into Mexico on the highway, they'd always drive away from me. I'm foot to the boards, I'm doing 64 miles an hour and they're doing 70. I was always moaning about it around the campfire, and they're saying, well, you got to put a collector system on your car. Those stupid twin pipes hurt horsepower because of the firing order. It's simply power killing. I went home and I designed what you see as a collector. We call it the Sidewinder.
Because the Manx was a kit car, every owner built them themselves, so they're all unique. Some people made them fast, some people made them pretty, and really that's what hot rodding's all about. The Manx's good looks and popularity led to numerous knockoffs. Meyers Manx made somewhere around 5,000 kits between 1964 and 1970, but there's more than 250,000 buggies with Manx-like designs in existence. This makes the owners of original Meyers Manxes extremely proud of their cars. Perry Margoloff has so many Manxes in his collection that we lost count. He has original VW-powered cars, he has a car with a Corvair engine, and he has an original racing Toad.
Unlike any other car, if you want to tow a Toad, you just bring out your tow bar, and then you can pick the car up and put it on your trailer hitch, and the car is ready to be driven away. This car he built for Bob Major of Major Cars in Chicago, who raced this one time and one time only in the Vegas 1000. To me, this is one of the quintessential automobiles of all time, and being that I have like a pretty wide variety of cars, if I had to get rid of all my cars and only keep one thing, I'd give up the Cobras and the Bentleys and the Porsches and keep my Manx. So I'd let the Cobra burn to the ground and I'd save the Manx.
Every Manx embodies the spirit of the person who built it, and they all embody Bruce's spirit. Fun-loving surfer guy just ready to go. The copies put the Manx company out of business in the early 70s. Bruce may not have gotten rich off his creation, but he never stopped innovating, creating a new version of the classic Manx around 2006, which the Meyers company offers today with upgrades and additional models.
That thing in the garage that you built with your own hands has a different meaning than the car alongside of it that came out of a big factory. It's a totally different thing. It had so much appeal in so many ways that I certainly wasn't aware of when I created the thing. I don't know why it happened. I'm just lucky that it did.